Yo, what's up, all? Y'all? I'm doing this again. Yo, what the is up, y'all? It's ya boy. Epic Gangnam Style like a boss. 360 no scope. RAR.
RAR XD.
Coming at you. Apparently, we really need to talk about this. Let's talk about it. And maybe we'll wash our hair, too.
Hi guys, it's me again.
Hi,
and today
Asman.
I thought we'd talk a little bit about misinformation on the
Okay, everybody, let's just keep our comments to ourselves, okay?
internet. I thought that, I don't know, now would be a good time. So in the past 2 or 3 years, I don't know about you guys, but I have seen such a massive, dramatic 10x multiplier amount of videos on the internet that are either totally fucking fake, misleading, or anything else in between, sometimes even both. And I know I hear people sometimes say, oh, well, I don't see as many AI videos anymore.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You see them all the time. You think they're real videos. They're not. They're not.
Yeah, I wonder why. And so anyway, I think
Everything's
this is what's
fake.
happened, is that there is so much misinformation, there is so many people trying to mislead you, trying to cause you to think something that isn't true,
Dude, especially with this war going on. Jesus Christ.
trying to manufacture a false consensus. It's like the dead internet theory is almost reassuring, because at least that means that nobody else would be harmed.
Right? Like, if the whole internet is full of bots and a minor percent of all of the traffic is just people, like actual real people, then maybe less people than we think are being harmed, and it's not hundreds of millions of people or a billion people being lied to by the magic box that we have in our hands all the time.
But the reality is that there are a lot of people on the internet that are being let off a fucking cliff by an
Yes.
AI video that didn't even exist.
Yes.
And so what I think the really, like, the point where I think the biggest flashpoint for this for me has been the recent conflict in Iran, is that everybody is making up bullshit about this. It's like I'll watch a video and I'll be like, oh, well, what's going on here? Is this happening? Nope, it was in 2021. Oh, is this happening? Nope, that was in Ukraine. Oh, is this happening? Nope, that's actually not even real.
It's
And
AI.
then, as a bonus, is this happening? It's actually Arma 3, the video game. And so what I
Yes.
think has happened is that you've had so many of these different types of manipulations. And why are they happening? Why do we have all of these manipulations? Well, it's very simple. Behavior follows incentives. How many of these manipulations are not being paid? The
Yeah.
overwhelming majority of them are being paid for this.
Yeah.
So they're making money off of misleading people.
Yes.
And big surprise, you're upset that they're misleading people. Of course they are. They
Yeah.
are following an incentive.
He says this a lot about incentives, and I think it's very true.
And I think that that incentive is the strongest on Twitter. I know that they're trying to fix this, but unfortunately, to the extent that you have basically this is
I think it's funny.
what I think Twitter should do, because I think that AI and fake information on Twitter is the absolute worst. I think it is the worst platform for fake information. And just because, again, it's text message, image, and you can effectively turn off replies.
Yep.
There's a lot of ways that you can do it and like have people not really notice whether you're lying to them or not. What they need to do is they need to change it into something like the YouTube Partnerships program, where you don't automatically default somebody a payment option. You don't automatically default somebody a revenue plan. They have to earn that and then have that given to
Oh, so he's giving Mr. Elon Musk. He's giving him some business advice, huh?
them by going through a series of checks and rigor. Because whenever
I just know that he watches this channel. There's no freaking way he doesn't. It's kind of crazy. Just thinking about how very powerful, influential people make waves in the world and do things that are real and affect millions of people for realsies. That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. Hopefully we can get a band of very nice people help, at least in some kind of way.
If you don't have that, well, you have, the 900th different anti-Israel or anti-Iran account that's posting images of either Ukraine or Israel getting bombed, saying it's either Iran or Israel or the opposite, right? And so basically, that's what I think is really happening, is that people are responding to incentives. They're seeing that basically making and pushing out fake information is something that has almost zero consequences. And I think that this is also, like, you've got to hold yourselves accountable for this. And by yourselves, I'm talking about myself as well. Is that really, when we find out that somebody's posting something that's bullshit, instead of asking them to correct themselves, we just move past it. And I think it's one of the unfortunate realities of the extremely fast 24-hour news cycle that we live in nowadays, is that, even things like, for example, do you remember when Obama kind of like said that there might be aliens on a podcast, and like this is a huge big deal? Yeah, that was last month. That might as well have just not happened.
Yes, dude. Are you? This is good. This is really good. Do you guys remember every day of the last year that's happened? Just wondering. Just asking that question. Just putting that out there.
Let's think about the time that, Trump obviously released the Epstein files. How many people are talking about the Epstein files now? Substantially less than what they were. And you can check this all by Google Trends if you're unsure about any of this.
Yes. Why don't I pull that up? So, I don't like Google. I really don't. But this is an incredible tool. And I can't believe I'm just so happy that this is a public tool that everyone can use. So, let's write. Oh, shit. Wow. So it seems like there's around 50 people using Google at this moment searching for Epstein files. This is incredible. This is so specific. I don't understand all the glaze for President Obama. Well, when I was in second grade, I think, we had like a mock election in our elementary school, and I voted for the guy. I didn't know what the f*** I was doing. And then he won. And then gay rights, and now we're in 2026. Here we are. Thanks, Obama. Okay, let's continue.
And so what I think has happened is that the news cycles are so fast nowadays that there's never any room for, not only is there no room for corrections, but there's also no room even for accountability. And what's really happened is that people, instead of questioning what they're seeing, they just move on to the next thing. And so there's never any accountability whenever a news source gets something wrong.
Right. I feel like there's never any time to process the actual news that has happened yesterday, because it just keeps happening. So
they say something that's inaccurate, there's never an evaluation as to whether, was this done on purpose? Was it done out of just a mistake? Was it done out of haste? Why did this happen? And it's never discussed at all. And I think this is a huge problem. And the reason why is because if you have people that are, again, past performance is an indicator of future performance. Guess what? If somebody is regularly posting bullshit, guess what they're going to post after that? Probably more bullshit.
Yeah.
So what happens is that people are listening to this, they're paying attention to it, and then they see, oh my God, it's another piece of shit. It's another thing that's not even true. And people they're never able to connect the dots here. And so not only does the audience not hold them accountable, people don't really care. And this is another big issue. I've talked about this before. I don't want to get into it too much, but critical thinking is dead. Critical thinking is dead.
No, he's right.
And we have killed it. And
Yeah.
the way that we have killed it is with dogmatic, ideological, thinking that effectively behaves like a religion. People have replaced, I don't know, Christianity or Islam with, the Democrats or the Republicans, with gender ideology, with any form of, political dogma. And so now people don't want to go against that political dogma. I think that human beings have a core desire. Like imagine the human mind is like a car, and the car can drive 200 fucking miles an hour. It can go super fast, but the brake system sucks. And I think that's what's happened with the human mind.
Yes.
Is that our ability to critically think, to perceive our
Isn't that why they call the new generation the Zoomers?
realities, to be able to understand the world around us, has vastly outpaced, multiple times outpaced, our ability to cope with it. To cope with those conclusions. To ask yourself, well, what does happen after you?
We weren't meant for phones or computers or screens or internet or any of this stuff. We weren't meant for this. We are a tribal species, a social species that wants to be next to other people, but we're in apartments alone on the computer. We're streaming, we're chatting on the computer, on the phone, we're scrolling on our phone all day. What are we doing? What's going on?
Die. Well, what does happen if you do this or that? Well, what is really the right and the fair thing to do? And people are afraid of these questions because they're afraid of the answers. And what they do instead of that is they look for an ideology that's going to answer all of those questions for them.
A religion.
So they never have to think about it again.
A religion.
And that's what's happened with critical thinking. Before, people used to outsource it to religion. Now they outsource it to politics, religion, or political dogma. And so what's happened is that you've had a massive entire ecosystem and culture of people that are terrified of saying the wrong thing.
Wake up.
Terrified of having the wrong opinion. They're terrified against going against the oftentimes manufactured consensus.
Yes. And you can't even have a conversation about it because the police in your own mind will chastise. You'll just endless cycle looping of punishing yourself in your head for doing something illegal that you were told was illegal. Have you ever read 1984? I suggest you read it.
And what happens is that you look at somebody like J.K. Rowling, for example, or even Elon Musk, for another example, or anybody else who's seen as a, I guess people would get mad. I don't want to name off a bunch of other content creators, I don't want to start drama, but we all know content creators.
And that's so sad that it would start drama. Come on now.
That, somebody said one thing that was wrong, they said one thing that was off color, or they didn't have the right opinion about the right topic in the right way at the right time, and for some reason, now they're a fucking Nazi.
Right. So, I had a conversation today with my boyfriend, and he was like, well, what are you going to do when people cancel you? And he kind of did say when. Like, people are going to cancel you. And I'm like, well, bring it on, because I am in the bass department. My bad. It doesn't bother. I will be fine, because I have a life outside of the magic black box that we're all staring at all the time.
Well, guess what? Somebody's not a Nazi because they're not seeing your point of view. But unfortunately, on the internet, that's the way it works now. And so what's happened is that we've created a culture of fear, a culture of repressed critical thinking, because nobody wants to think for themselves. And how does this relate to misinformation? Let me explain. The reason how this relates to misinformation, I hope that I've explained and you understand why critical thinking is dead.
Yes. My bad. I'm kind of diverting everything.
Critical thinking is dead is because people are afraid of the conclusions and they don't want to come out against the consensus, because if they do, they might get ostracized from their group, and then nobody will like them.
Yes.
And then you can never wash that stain off, because people do not believe in forgiveness. They don't believe in apologies. They don't believe in understanding. The hater economy on the internet is going stronger than ever. The Dow is at 50,000. The hater economy is at 50 million.
The
So
Dow.
the fact is that people are terrified of having the wrong opinion, and critical thinking can sometimes lead you to the wrong opinion. Trust the science?
Sure.
Okay, well, I heard the science is two genders. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the right type
Right.
of science. And
Right.
so anyway, this happens
Exactly.
quite often. So we'll go back over and we'll talk about misinformation. Does anybody actually want to correct the misinformation about something that everybody that's, quote, on their side is eating up like a bunch of fucking candy? No, absolutely not. Nobody wants to go and correct the information that shows Israel getting bombed 500 times and tell them, actually, this is from Independence Day. Or, well, this is from a video game. Or something else. Or this is from 2019. And or Iran or anything else. And or like, oh, the new supreme leader of the day has now been killed again. Well, I hear this every single day. The guy gets killed every day. It's the same guy, right? I mean, must pretty much suck. That's the worst version of Groundhog Day that I could imagine. Wake up every day, you're the supreme leader of Iran, and then it's the same guy, right? I mean, must pretty much suck. That's the worst version of Groundhog Day that I could imagine. Wake up every day, you're the supreme leader of Iran, and then you die, and then it happens again the day after. Sounds pretty fucking bad, but according to Twitter, that's the world that we're in. So what I think has happened is that you've had so much misinformation, the information cycle, and this is one of the real pieces of, I think, genius that George Orwell had with, 1984, is that it was not necessarily that the news was all a lie. It was that there was so much misinformation and so much information in general that the deluge of it was so overwhelming that the mind of a person could not even comprehend the complexities, the amount of just pure volume of it, and everything. And because of that, it is effectively the sheer size of it has lulled people into a sense of effectively powerlessness.
Yes. I brought up this book. It's excellent, excellent read, and it's very applicable. When I was reading it, I was doing research. That's what I would tell people I was doing. Be like, what are you reading? Be like, I'm researching. Yeah, so you should read that.
They can't overcome this. They can't like reason it out. They can't understand it. And so they just simply opt to not understand and to just listen to what they're told. And I think, again, this is out of, I said before, fear, but it's also out of apathy and a lack of control. So what's happened is that people are now accepting of misinformation. They don't want to correct misinformation because people, as soon as somebody makes up their mind on something, well, they don't want to change their mind because changing your mind implies that you are wrong. Mm-hmm. Why would you ever want to admit that you were wrong?
It's okay to change your mind. I have.
And I understand that, oh, that's not the way you should think about it. That's nice. That's nice. Go back to Reddit. So if you go over to the real world, no, people don't like changing their opinion. There's a reason why the concept of anchoring exists, especially with sales, but also you're selling an idea. So keep in mind that's the way people think of things. And so once you can create that first impression with misinformation, you can then use that first impression to create even a secondary, well, that was fake, but this secondary thing is also still kind of true. And I think this is what happens. And it begins a self-radicalization spiral. And you see this happen with certain creators where as soon as they start engaging with other forms of vitriolic, conspiratorial, or problematic content, they alienate the audience that was more, I don't know, normal.
Yes.
And instead of that, they replace them with the people that are crazy.
Yes.
And as that happens, guess what crazy people want? Crazy shit.
Yep.
Who would have guessed?
Wow.
And so then you now have to continue upping the ante. This happens with IRL streamers a lot, like nuisance streamers. The conclusion of every nuisance streamer is jail. That's the way it is.
Yep. I've never understood that kind of content. I've never checked it out or even watched it at all. I wouldn't recommend it. It's all really cringe and stupid.
That's how it is. Every single one of them, if you just let it progress naturally, they will end up in jail. Because you start being annoying, and then you be really annoying, then you're confrontational, then you're violent, then you're really violent, then you're in jail. Because you always have
hopefully
to keep upping the ante in order to maintain the attention of the audience. And I think that's what happened with a lot of different creators, and it's what will continue to happen as well, because it's basic human psychology. And I think that there are a lot of people out there who try to subvert this. They try to say that, oh, well, we need to be better. We need to be better. Listen, we were doing crucifixions 2,000 years ago. In 2,000 years from now, we'll probably still be doing them. Maybe we'll bring it back. And so the point is that the human mind is not evolving as fast as you think it is. And at the same time, these basic human psychological realities are not despawning. They're not going away. They're actually becoming more entrenched and actually more, basically more compromised. They're being played to. They're being taken advantage of in a much higher ratio, because now you have these companies that realize, well, wait a minute, if we can just feed this retard an endless amount of information about the thing that makes him the most angry, he won't be able to stop using our app.
Yeah, because the masses, like, I'm sorry, like, a lot of people are stupid. I don't know if that makes me a bigot. If it does, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care. Some people are retarded. And if you thought that was a dig on you, you're retarded.
And so now you have these people whose like blood pressure is being raised. It's like effectively these companies are killing people because their blood pressure goes up 20 points the moment they open the fucking app. And they're sitting there getting angry, tapping out these little fucking responses, and they're arguing with either a Pakistani or a bot. Well, actually, that's not true. Probably both. And so what's happened is that the amount of misinformation on the internet has just increased so much. Places like Twitter pay people for uploading it. Places on the internet, like news websites, if enough people report on it and start talking about it, the news websites talk about it, and sometimes they reinforce it, and there is never any due diligence, and if there is, it's like 2 weeks after the fact. It's like this story has already completely made its way around the globe, and now, nobody's even talking about it. And they don't even think about the correction, because the narrative has already been established and it's already moved past that original fake fact. And so what's happened, I think, is that we've created a culture of misinformation. Now, the way that I think you stop this and how you deal with it is you have to look at incentives. Why do people push misinformation? They push misinformation, and again, I'm not talking about, COVID or something like that. I'm talking about literal AI videos. I'm talking about videos that are posted as if they were today and it was 5 years ago. I have no problem with somebody posting a stupid opinion, but I do have a problem with people that are posting opinions and information that is deliberately misleading. And if those people are getting paid for it, then you can guarantee that you're going to have a lot more of it. Because I can also promise you that fake news will always be more exciting than real news.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, the sky's the limit. Fiction is
just like the trans genocide. I heard a very poignant quote today. It was Buck Angel. In his most recent video, he said, actually, let me go and find the video.
And you know what a genocide is? AIDS. AIDS was a genocide. That was an actual, nobody wanted to help gay people. I was there. The government didn't want to help. Reagan was like, no, basically let them die kind of situation. It was horrible. And gay men were dropping like flies. That's a true genocide, because they did want to wipe out gay men, and they didn't care about gay men until it started hitting other populations. And then it was like, oh, actually, this is crossing over. So, it's so fucking disrespectful for people to say, how many trans people are dying on a daily basis? How many? Come on. This is actually out of control. Like, they don't even know what the term genocide means. And
they're taking away the meaning of words. Have you noticed this happening? The meaning of words is slowly degrading. And to everybody, one word can mean whatever they want it to mean. That's dangerous. Words have definitions for a reason. We have legal definitions that are real and based on actual things that exist in our reality. Words describe things. We need them to be structured and functional, and not some kind of like melty goop of language that just means whatever the you want it to mean. I don't even know what happens then. But it's happening right now, and everybody's retarded, so maybe that's what what happens when you take away the meaning of words.
Generally much more exciting than nonfiction. I've never heard of a single dragon in real life. And so you've had these things kind of evolve and grow out of control, and now there is an entire ecosystem of people that are consuming this fake information, and they're being rewarded for it. They're getting more of it. They're being paid for it. And then you have people that are building their careers around it. And how do you actually stop this from happening? Well, you have to stop giving them fucking money. And I think that needs to be the point where you look at it. Now, Twitter has been trying their best to stop this and shut it down, but, you know, I'll give it a few weeks and we'll see what happens. Right now, it sure seems like it's a pretty big problem. But my in general opinion...
Mr. Musk?
...opinion on this is that this problem will only continue to get worse, but there is a silver lining, and I will talk about the silver lining.
Wait a minute. Musk?
The silver lining is the fact that if you're not a fucking idiot, it is a lot easier to understand things, and you have a tremendous advantage nowadays. And on top of that, everybody in the world is developing a general distrust of believing what they see. And I don't know if you've noticed this before, but every single image, even if it's something like, you know, there's an image of, I don't know, like Pearl Harbor, and, you know, you'll see 4 comments, "Oh, Grok, is this AI?" Well, you know what? It's retarded. Yes, it's retarded, but it's an investigation. It's a level of thinking. It's a level of questioning that I think for such a long time hasn't happened. And the silver lining of this age of misinformation is that it's also going to lead forward to an age of skepticism. It's going to lead forward to people reflexively just believing that, you know what, this might not even be true.
Yeah, so in my last story about the transgender lawyer, the reviews on their page, like the bad ones, were all getting replies from the owners stating if this is even a real review or if you are a real person. But then that lawyer was still using generative AI to write things for the Facebook page, and also maybe the one review from the Google page was written with AI, but I don't know. Is anybody real? I mean, there's a lot of fake shit. I mean, I believe that this video is real. This guy, there's so much lore behind this guy. It's incredible. It's incredible, and he looks like that and he doesn't care. And good for him for not caring. And you know what else is crazy? He has hella women that want him, okay?
And I think that's very long overdue, because people for a very, very long time had trusted the mainstream media. I think COVID really severed this. But before that, and even now, to an extent, if they're saying the things that you agree with, people do trust the mainstream media. And I think the problem with trusting the mainstream media is that they don't necessarily lie, but they do misrepresent. And they misrepresent in a way that can effectively completely shift the feeling, the intent, the goal, or anything like that. They can shift it entirely. And I think that people would just accept that unquestioningly. And I think that one of the silver linings of the age of misinformation that we're entering into now is that that is calling into question everything. It's calling into question all information, all sources, all like different, all primary information, all videos, all images. And I think that now that we've also created other secondary sources for people being able to, you know, say, hey, this isn't true, hey, this is not real, and being able to detect this, I do think that there will be a long-term positive effect, but it will take a lot longer than you might imagine. But hopefully, the main thing that I really hope for is that they're able to get rid of the people getting paid for this stuff, right? I don't have a problem. I don't want to have people get banned, right? I don't want people to get banned. But if you're posting fake information and AI videos and stuff like that, and you're presenting it as if it's real, well, then you've got a pretty big problem. And I think that it's pretty obvious to see how this is an issue. So again, I don't want to see anybody get banned. I don't want to see anybody get censored. But I don't want to see those fuckers get paid either. And I think that's a big problem.
Yeah.
And the more that you have these people getting paid, the more this issue will continue to grow. I wanted to talk about this because I think it's going to keep getting worse. But at a certain point, I think we are very close to the climax. And after that, I could see things beginning to improve, get better, and for the, global internet awareness or the consciousness to have a much larger degree of skepticism, even with things that they believe.
And I guess that's what AI is for.
And that's what I hope for, and that, in my opinion, is the best thing that could come out of misinformation, but goddamn is it a painful road. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this with you guys today. Thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate it, and let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I think you are very astute, and I appreciate your content. It's very well spoken. That was great. It went on really long. Anyway, I know that I'm the funniest person in the entire world, and I don't care. So you should hit the like and the sub button or something, and I will be posting more really